Good afternoon, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to each one of you present here and online too. I'm Divya, and it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speakers today who are going to talk to us on the topic, Change Your Habit and Change Your Life. We are honored to have with us Tyagi Daya and Tyagi Keshava. They have lived in India since the founding of Ananda work by Swami Kriyananda in 2003. They serve as the spiritual directors of Ananda Sangha Delhi and live in the South Delhi Center in Panchsheel Park. Together, they have 65 years of experience with meditation and Kriya Yoga. Both Tyagi Daya and Tyagi Keshava are authorized Kriyacharyas who can initiate people into Kriya Yoga. A very warm welcome to you both. I invite Tyagi Daya and Tyagi Keshava to enlighten us more on this topic of change your habit and change your life.
So I think we'll just stand here, or I think we'll just speak from here. So good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. So this is a wonderful topic, change your habits, change your life. I thought I would just start by saying all these great souls you've seen on the stage so far this morning, many of them, especially Naya Swami Jyotish, Devi, Jaya, Diana, also my husband Keshava, they all came to Ananda when they were like 20 years old, 22 years old. This was back in late 60s, early 70s. And, they obviously had this incredible karma just to start as very young people with Swami Kriyananda, following Yogananda Ji's teachings in this beautiful spiritual community. I did not have that karma. I had the karma of coming later. I did come to Ananda in Palo Alto in California for the first time when I was 36 years old. And I moved to Ananda Village when I was closer to 40 years old. So all that as a prequel to say, I had time to develop bad habits. And I was, I was leading a very worldly life before I found Ananda. And, had an opportunity to, since I was born, like all of us, we're sort of seeking for our fulfillment outside of ourselves. Right? We think that we're going to get happiness by something outside of ourselves, whether it's a person or a job or money or fulfilling a desire. We think that that is going to give us happiness, or that's going to give us the security that we're looking for. A strong bank account, a nice house, a nice car, all of these things we think are going to feed us. And so and all of the desires may be feeding the senses, whether it's through alcohol or through food or through sense pleasures. These are all different habits we can get into very easily in our lives. And I think I was into many of them. And I tried to, I had enough spiritual awareness to know that this was not giving me the fulfillment and the happiness I was looking for. And so, like many of us, I started reading books, I started going to workshops and seminars and classes, and actually thought I was making some progress. Well, my mind was engaged, I've read this book, I've read that book, I'm practicing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing all these things. But these habits that I had of, let's say, reacting emotionally over very little provocation, or constantly being restless. What should I do now? Who can I talk to now? Where can I go now? Of shopping all the time, thinking that shopping was going to fill my needs. So I had these habits of constantly trying to fulfill from the outside. But with these spiritual workshops and books, I wasn't changing. I felt I was still getting angry. And I thought I had really worked on myself for a good 10 years, and it wasn't working, and I didn't really know why. And then suddenly I found Ananda, and I started meditating, and I started being in an environment of peaceful, spiritual souls. And that environment really helped to affect my reasoning, affect the way that I saw life, and when I meditated, all this energy that had been just going out into the world, suddenly, it just through meditation and learning to gaze up at the spiritual eye, which we do in meditation, and doing pranayama, my energy reversed. Instead of just going out to grab things outside or looking for my happiness or looking for pointing at my problems, all of a sudden this energy started coming inside. And with pranayama, the energy started moving in my center, and then by gazing up, it started moving up my center and gazing up, and suddenly the energy that was flowing down and out was now coming in and up. And my magnetism changed. Instead of just having materialistic magnetism, I started to have centered, calm, spiritual magnetism. And, like attracts like. Suddenly I was fitting in with these peaceful, calm, spiritual people instead of fitting in with my party friends or my work friends that I had spent all this time with. So suddenly my life was changing once my environment was changing, once I had started practice meditation. So that was just a little personal story, and then Keshava is going to start to talk to you about habits themselves.
Daya's story was a perfect illustration of what we're all working with. And we're premising, our theme today is change, we're premising that we all want to change. We want to improve ourselves, change in a positive direction. And we can say that everyone on earth is seeking to, thank you. How's this?
Sorry.
Oh, we were doing so well. Yeah. Okay, great. I think we're doing well. Everybody on earth seeks to avoid pain and move towards more comfort or pleasure. Even an amoeba moves away from an obstacle or moves away from a poisonous chemical towards more comfort, towards more ease. And this motivates our actions. And Daya has illustrated what some of the results can be. And one action, repeated enough times, becomes a habit. And a collection of habits create a basic attitude that we have, our character, our personality. And our attitudes determine our future, which means we're very much in control of our situation. We can choose our thoughts, and that's the beginning. And habits, of course, are essential to anything that we do. Yogananda said that 99% of our thoughts and actions are dictated by previous habit. And we label habits as good if they lead us towards greater happiness. We label them as bad if they lead us away from that happiness. And it's interesting because most good habits we learn with very deliberate effort. As a young child, learning to tie your shoelaces, your parent may have shown you, and you repeat it again and again, just how to tie your shoelace or how to brush your teeth. But once you learned that habit, you forgot all about it. It became second nature. And it meant that you were no longer tripping on your shoelaces or making frequent trips to the dentist, because we've learned that habit. Now, the interesting thing about bad or negative habits is that usually we pick them up just haphazardly. We're offered a sweet, and we like it. The next time we're offered a sweet, we take 2 of them. And so it is that we pick up habits that may not be helpful to us, but as I say, very casually and haphazardly. And so if we were to put the same amount of concentrated effort that we put to learning that new habit, that good habit, if we use that same amount of concentration, we can overcome that casually acquired bad habit much more easily than we might think. We just simply do not put that amount of effort and concentration into doing so most of the time. And the first step we can say is motivation. We need that motivation. Perhaps that motivation is desperation. We reach rock bottom. We realize that we are so unhappy. Funny, it goes out and in and out. Okay. We're so unhappy with the way our life is going that we will try anything to overcome that direction. Thankfully, I have a loud voice. Another motivation is introspection. And this one we choose. In my own case, when I was 20 years old, I didn't choose introspection. It was imposed on me. I was sick for a number of days in bed. I didn't have a fever. My mind was clear. And what happened in all of that time that I had alone, I started to review my life, the direction that my life was going in. As I was saying, I was reviewing the direction that my life was going. I realized I was not happy. I needed to make a change. I had heard earlier about how meditation could help me. I believed it could help me. But I felt I was just too restless. I couldn't concentrate enough to even learn the meditation. It was a vicious circle. But then I got off my sick bed, and I immediately went to learn how to meditate. And it was a miracle. Just by practicing meditation for a couple of weeks, my tastes began to change. I was no longer interested in the things that held my interest before. And I started in a whole new direction, even without putting my will into doing that. Now, when I say I learned to meditate and I meditated, I don't mean that, oh yeah, I tried meditation a couple of times, didn't work for me. I don't mean, oh yeah, I do it on weekends, or I meditate when I feel like meditating. I mean, I meditated every day. In my case, it was twice a day. I could never have done that on my own. The only thing that made me do it is I had a couple of people I was living with. They were already meditating. We would meditate together every day. And then after a few weeks, it just became a habit. And so here in Pune, both in person and online, Ananda offers meditation classes. But just going to one class, like I did, is not enough to do it. We need to establish that new habit through the Ananda meditation app on your phone, through meditating in person with others, through following online guided meditations. And in this way, without even making any other effort towards changing habits. My experience was the same as I've been teaching meditation for the last 45 years. And most of our students have exactly the same experience, that same automatic transformation within them happen when they have a regular daily practice of meditation. And there are also other methods for changing our habits, but the most powerful is meditation. So we can consider that the other methods go hand in hand with that meditation, that they're supplementary to it. And I think that I'll let Daya continue for a few more minutes, and then I'll come back in a moment.
So I just, we are always, I think you all know, we're not just flesh and blood limited beings. We are souls. We're eternal. We're infinite. We come from the divine. We'll return from the divine. But just think of our consciousness as fluid. At the low end of the consciousness, we are most in our egos. We believe that we're separate from the divine. We believe we're only this body, which is, of course, very vulnerable. You could just walk out on the street and get run over. You'll be gone now. So, and that would be the end of it. So we can think, I'm just separate. I'm only flesh and blood. Or on the other end of the spectrum, I'm a soul. I'm from spirit. I'm at one with all that is. I'm light. I'm peace. I'm joy. I'm positive. I'm energy. And so you think, and every day we could go from the spectrum of actually, being negative, fearful, insecure, to just being, I feel filled with God's light. I feel I'm one with the divine, and I'm infinite. I'm eternal. So we're always on the spectrum. It's almost like a piano, and every note as you go up the piano has a different vibration. And so what is it that affects our vibration? It's the environment that we put ourselves in. It's the consciousness around us. So you think, I'm attuning my consciousness to something, always. Somebody said, one of the acharyas said this morning, thoughts are universally, not individually rooted. This is what's in the autobiography of a yogi. So whatever radio station we are tuned into, that's the kind of input we're getting from the universe every day. So what am I tuning into? Am I looking towards the light? Am I looking towards an expansion of awareness of my world around me? Am I looking towards the positive? Am I looking for gratitude in everything that's in my life? Or am I looking at the negative? Am I pessimistic? Am I looking towards darkness? So these are the kinds of things, and the people that influence us. If I am under the influence of the great masters, if I listen to their voice, if I chant their chants, if I read their books, if I look at their pictures, if I'm around other spiritual souls, my consciousness is being lifted. And if I'm doing the opposite, it's coming down. So when we have an expanded awareness, just like I think it was Jaya that was saying, that Nayaswami Jaya, it's that suddenly we can identify with the reality that's bright, that's light, like the masters, like I can be like them. They came to show us that we are like them. So I can be like them. And yes, I have this issue with drinking, or yes, I have this issue with eating or sense pleasures, but this is nothing compared to the future that I have. So if we identify, like, who am I? Am I this flesh and bones, or am I light? If I identify with light, if I identify with an expanded consciousness, with joy, with spirit, with the peace that I'm finding in meditation, this is who I really am, then the darkness starts to shed off us like a snake's skin. It just starts to come. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you go into a cave, it's been dark for 10,000 years, you turn on the light, and the darkness is gone. But it's like you look towards the light. It's not like there is no darkness in the world. This is duality. This world has light and dark. But really, what I'm seeing is light. Therefore, the experience that I'm having of this world is light, because light is flowing through me. I'm looking for light. I see light. I'm a little speck of light, perhaps in a dark world. But when I can shine my light, all these other lights also I'm attracting. And so if I have habits, if I have addictions, if I have darkness in my life, it's okay, they are there. But do I identify with that, or identify with peace, with love, with the masters, with perfection? This is where we're headed. Yogananda said, and Swami said, don't identify with your failures, identify with your aspirations. This is where your energy is going. This is much more who you are than what you think you have been in the past. So Keshava has an exercise he's going to lead you through.
Daya has summed up that what we're working with these habits, more than anything, is how are we thinking, our habit of thinking. And it can be in a positive direction or it can be in a destructive direction. And as I said with my compulsory introspection, we can have a voluntary introspection for ourselves. We can't really do it in a couple of minutes here, but perhaps I can make a couple of suggestions that you can take home with you for you to go more deeply into an introspection. And let us begin now by working physically with our breath, with our body. And I ask you now to, we're going to inhale together with a big breath with the nose. And we'll get the microphone to cooperate here. That would be lovely. Thank you, Divya. Thank you. For some reason, it likes your hand better than the stand. So this is just perfect. I'm going to ask you now to inhale deeply, and as you do so, tense the body and even bring your arms slowly above your head. Let's do this together. Inhale with your nose, inhaling, tensing the body. Bring your arms, stretch them above your head. And then exhale and relax. Bring your arms down. You can even bend forward a little bit. Exhale, relax completely. One more time. Inhaling, tensing, stretching up. Exhaling, relaxing down. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Breathe naturally and just observe your breath. When are you inhaling? When are you exhaling? No control, no tension. Just observe your natural breath. Eyes closed. Be aware of that inhalation. The next time you inhale, mentally repeat the words, I am. I am. As you inhale, as you exhale, repeat peace. I am peace. With the inhalation, I am. With the exhalation, peace. I am peace. Follow your own breath. Very good. Both downstairs we did an affirmation together. This is another affirmation using the breath. It also calms the breath. As we calm the breath, we automatically calm the mind. In that calm state of mind, we can introspect. You can keep your eyes closed if you wish, and think of a goal, a life goal, something that you really want to, that's important to you, you want to achieve, you want to have more of, some quality. Maybe there's 2 or 3 things that are very important to you, that you want to work on more. You can imagine even, what if you had 1 month to live only? Which of these positive qualities would you want to have more of? Which is most important? then you could ask yourself, is there something that's holding me back from accomplishing that thing? Maybe it's a habit of thinking I'm not good enough, thinking I'm this kind of person or that kind of person, I can't do it. Now you can think, what about this obstacle, this negative habit, this negative way of thinking? Why do I have it? What need does it fulfill? And usually it's a positive need. You know, if I overeat, maybe it satisfies a need to be fulfilled, to be satisfied. If I drink coffee or tea and I want to have less of it, maybe I drink that because I want to feel more energy. Maybe I have a drink of alcohol because I want to relax more. Maybe I eat sweets because I want to feel like I'm loved. I want to have sweetness in my life. And the next step, and we're doing this, I'm just mentioning these things for you to continue at home if you're interested. The next step is, what is a substitute? What is a more positive attitude to have? More positive thoughts that will also fulfill that same need, so that we have a choice. Okay, very good. You can open your eyes. But I just want to give you this example that if you were to say to yourself, this feels like something I could benefit from. You know, say, okay, on Saturday morning, I've got nothing happening. Let me take 2 hours. Let me take the whole morning. And let me do an introspection like this. And just see what comes out. Use a pen and paper. Use some of this breathing to make you feel more relaxed to begin with. And just explore where it takes you. And as Daya was saying, you know, thoughts are universally rooted. Really, we choose our thoughts. And we can choose, just like there's many dams here around Pune, and when the dam fills, either it overflows and the whole dam gets destroyed, or no, what do they have? They have like a spillway, so the extra water can go off this safe channel, so that the whole dam doesn't overflow. And so it is with our consciousness. We can choose with our energy, we can choose a more positive alternative for that energy to take. And so that's really what we're doing with changing our habits, with using affirmation, is choosing a more positive alternative. And so we'll both leave you with those thoughts today, and we'll continue with the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Dayaji and Keshavji. That was really very, very inspiring. Indeed grateful for this. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for taking out time for this and attending the session. Anybody inspired to join the Ananda meditation classes, you can register your name at the registration table, and we'll do a follow-up very, very soon. Thank you so much. We have another session right now. It's called Balancing the Material with Spiritual Life. You can either wait or you can get back after 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Pia Singh is going to be taking that.
So we thought we were out of time. Sorry. So I would just add one more thing to that. Any habit we're working on, we take let's assume that we think it's harmful for our lives, otherwise we wouldn't want to be changing it. Just take the opposite positive quality. So let's say if I'm overeating, okay? So overeating. If I'm overeating, like Keshava said, that maybe that's an inner need to be fulfilled. And so, you can just make them up. What is the opposite? Like fulfillment. I'm feeling complete in myself. I am free and complete in myself, or I am loved and complete in myself. Something so simple that you want to say it, like first thing in the morning. You can put it on your bathroom mirror. You can put it at your terminal, your work computer. You can say it at the end of your meditation in the morning, going into meditation just before sleep. Say it again and again, just the opposite positive quality. So it starts to become just, like Keshava said, that neural brain wave, instead of going, I want food, it'll start to say, I'm complete in myself. And then also you can put something physical to it. Is Pia there? Pia, come. Is Pia there? Oh, good, Pia's there. Okay, come in. All right, so Pia's here. Anyway, that's something to do, an affirmation, opposite positive quality.